this lesson, I'm going to show you my version of the song Oceans, how the finger picking pattern works. I call it a folksy finger picking pattern, as well as some unique chords that you can use in different songs or if you're writing a song. But it sounds like this. So first things first, I'm capo 2 using G chord family chords. So I'll refer to the chords as G chords, but they're actually A chords in the key of A because of the capo. So let's hop to our first chord, which is an E minor shape. And so I'm barring on the 7th relative to capo. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then my other fingers are making what looks like an A minor shape. So this is just an E minor bar, 5th string position, minor bar chord. And what I'm doing is, first of all, taking my pinky off, I don't need it. Makes it a 7 chord, and then for the remaining fingers, just lift them up, straight up, and that opens up the chord. So pointer on the 7th, on the 5th string, right below ring finger, on the 9th, on the 4th string, the 3rd is open, the pointer is 8th, again relative to capo, and then open on the 1st string. So keep this in mind, this is your minor chord position, so anytime you have a minor, you'll use this shape. B minor, for instance, which is the same thing on the 2nd fret. Our next chord is probably the hardest chord. It's a transition chord. It's a 5/7. This is 6 minor, by the way, if you like Nashville numbers, which I do. So let's go up a whole step. The exact same positioning, except that your pinky is going to go up 1 fret from where your ring finger was. So there's quite a stretch there between your pointer and your pinky. So this is a transition chord. You really only hit it like 1 beat, and then you go into the next chord, which is your 1, otherwise known as a G. Now this looks just like your minor position, except that instead of where your middle finger is on the minor position, your pinky will go right next door, a fret higher. So it's on the same fret as your ring finger. This is your major position. So take this major position, and we're going to slide it the other way. Back down to the 5th fret, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks exactly the same. This is our 5 chord or our D chord. And then let's slide it back another whole step to the 3rd fret. This is our 4 chord or our C chord. So that progression takes care of the intro, the verse, but let's talk about your right hand and your picking pattern, because this is fairly tricky if you're not used to finger picking, but it's a great pattern to know. You can use in lots of songs. The first thing to know is that your thumb is going to bounce back and forth between your root note, which will be on the 5th string, and then your 4th string, transition chord, 5 chord, 4 chord. So now, once you're comfortable with that, you can spend some time on that and come back. Position your other fingers. I like to use my ring finger on the 2nd string. You don't need your pinky on the 1st. We're not going to play your 1st string. Ring finger on the 2nd, followed by middle finger. And you can also put your ring finger down. You're not going to use it in this pattern, but you can have it in position if you want. So really, ring finger middle. Now what these are going to do in this pattern is they're going to play in between some of your alternating thumb notes. So your thumb is going to alternate once by itself. And as soon as it hits that second string, the second note, your middle finger will play right after it on that third string. You'll go back to alternating with your thumb on the fifth string. That'll play, and then your ring finger will catch right after that on the second string. And then you'll finish it out with where your thumb goes next, which is that fourth string. And then you repeat it, and that's a whole measure. We have to play that over and over to get used to it, but once you have it, it's the same thing all the way through all of your chords. There are a few things though that spice this up a little. The first is when you change chords, you can help accent the very first note of the new chord by having your ring finger play with your thumb. So every time you switch a chord, your ring finger and thumb. So that's the gist of the song, really. That's kind of the meat and potatoes of the song. There are a few other things I do with transition notes, maybe right before the 1 chord into the 5 chord. I'll move my pinky up to give it a different sound. Right here, I'll do the same thing. That's optional, you don't need to do that. And then let's talk about the chorus really quickly. Same idea with the picking pattern. I'm starting on my 4 chord, your C, G. You really just need your bass note, and then you can leave the rest open. And I'm alternating, instead of the 5th string, I'm using the 6th as the main bass note. And the hammer on if you want to. This chord is a C slide, so C up 2 frets, which acts as your D chord or your 5 chord. You could use your 5 chord that you already know, or same idea, it's just a little bit of a different sound. And then I go to the 2 minor position chord. So now you know the E minor slide chords. Again, you can use these in other songs that use G chord family chords. And you know a new kind of folksy back and forth finger picking pattern that you can also use in other songs. So hopefully you'll have fun with this as a new way to play Oceans and take what you've learned and apply it to other songs.